There we go. I think we're almost set up here, guys. You know how it is with YouTube. Always give it a couple minutes. All right. There we go. Much better, much better. Welcome, everybody, to Tim Reynolds Show's Friday Football Talk here on November 15th, 2024. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe as we're just doing a little back and forth here on some football talk on this Football Friday as we're going through all the things happening in football in 2024, including with college football and with NFL football. Make sure you guys drop a like there, hit that like button, and drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the show, and we'll also be trying to answer some football questions here in the chat. So welcome to Tim Reynolds Show, guys. As Carson's first person in the chat, welcome. What's up, Carson? Thank you for hanging out with us here. Thank you, guys. All right. So while we wait for a few more people to join in, thank you, Carson. Appreciate you being in here, man. We got 2 people in the chat already, so let's see what we can get going here. So first, we're going to talk about some college football here while we wait for some people to come into the chat. So going over the week that was right now in college football, Ball State was taking on University of Buffalo, and Buffalo improves to 6-4 on the season after getting a 51-48 victory in overtime, as these 2 teams really balled out here to kick off the Week 12 in the 2024 college football season. Thank you, Carson, for being the first person in the chat. We also got the first like of the night. Thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Oh, Carson. Well, what's your team, Carson? Maybe we'll try to get to that here soon. All right, so going over to our next matchup here, we see that Western Michigan took on Bowling Green, and Bowling Green, the home team, got a big victory in this one, 31-13. As we see their running back there had Stewart had 15 carries for 150 yards and a touchdown. And then Fang Jr. had 10 receptions for 137 yards and 2 TDs as Bowling Green improves to 6-4 overall on the season and 5-1 in conference play in the MAC division. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here with Tim Reynolds Shows on this Friday Football Talk. Oh, and Carson is a Kentucky football fan in the SEC. Man, let's see. Let's go scroll down here to get to see. Ooh, well, looks like the University of Kentucky Wildcats are 3-6 on the season, but they take on Murray State this week in Lexington at Kroger Field, and Murray State comes in at 1-9, even though the University of Kentucky Wildcats are 3-6. Thank you, Carson, for hanging out in the chat. Cara Guevara, welcome to the chat. Hello. Oh, and it's Pineapple Head. Nothing like a crisp, cold drink to pop open when we get ready for this Friday football talk. That's right. Well, good luck to your Wildcats there, Carson. Appreciate everybody hanging out here in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe. Drop a comment on any football questions you may have, either in college football or in NFL football. So moving on to our next college football game on Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, as we've seen the University of Central Michigan take on the University of Toledo. And Toledo improves to 7-3 in the season and 4-2 in the MAC conference with a 37-10 victory in this one. Now, even though Toledo didn't fill up the stat sheet from what it looks like here, they were able to control the football game and get the win here in this one. Their top rusher was Tucker Gleason, who was able to get 8 carries for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. And the quarterback was also able to throw for 136 yards and a touchdown and help lead the Toledo Rockets to victory. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. Oh, here we go. TG says, do you got Mike Tyson or Jake Paul? Man, I'm rolling with Mike Tyson in that fight, man. But I hear there's a lot of streaming issues going on right now with the Netflix there as well. Thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show's Friday Football Talk. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and leave me with some comments there on any football questions you guys have in college football or NFL football going on right now. We're going through all the games here right through college football season here in week 12. So now moving on to Wednesday, Kent State was taking on the University of Miami, Ohio, and Kent State goes to 0-10 on the year as they lose this one 34-7. And on Miami of Ohio, they improved to 6-4 on the year and 5-1 in the MAC conference. All right, Carson, thank you, man. Already got a good couple questions from my boy Carson in the chat. Appreciate you, man. And it looks like the question here from Carson: start, bench, cut. Patrick Mahomes, Hurts, and Burrow. I guess right now, if I really had to go with it, I probably would go Mahomes start, Burrow bench, and Hurts cut. Unfortunately, that's just the way it rolls right now with me. I would almost be tempted to start Burrow because right now with the numbers he's putting up, oh my goodness. I don't know how the Cincinnati Bengals don't have a winning record right now with how good Jamar Chase is playing and how good Burrow is playing at the quarterback position. Watch out, Burrow could win maybe Offensive Player of the Year or maybe even MVP if he's able to, get back his team in the playoffs and get them back into play. Logan W. in the chat, remember you, man. Thank you for hanging out with us here, guys, on this Friday Football Talk. All right, so let's move on to our next matchup here on Wednesday, November 13th, 2024, and Week 12 of the 2024 college football season, as we see Akron University taking on Northern Illinois University as the Huskies were able to get a 29-16 victory in this matchup as they improved to 6-4 on the season and 3-3 in the MAC Division Conference play, or MAC Conference play. A big victory here for them as we're looking over here on the stats for him. Johnson Jr. had 21 carries for 104 yards on the day. And Northern Illinois is also the team that upset the University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish earlier in the year. So it's nice to see them bouncing back. They got a 6-4 record. They're 3-3, though, in conference play. And we've already gone over a bunch of MAC teams already. And that really puts them in the middle of the pack. Bowling Green right now, 6-4, but 5-1 in the MAC conference. Toledo 7-3, but they're 4-2 in MAC conference play. Buffalo, who won as well, 6-4, but they're 4-2 in the MAC conference play as well. So an uphill battle for Northern Illinois. Then we go to our next matchup here in the MAC conference on Wednesday, November 13th. As we see Eastern Michigan taking on Ohio University, and the Bobcats were able to get a 35-10 victory in this one, scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter to really blow the game out. And we see here on the stats, the quarterback there for the Bobcats on Ohio University, what really balled out for them, 22 for 32 is Parker Navarro, number 13, was 22 of 32 for 277 yards. He threw a pick and no touchdowns through the air, but he had 13 carries for 106 yards and 4 touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns for the quarterback there for the Ohio Bobcats as they improve to 7-3 on the year and 5-1 in the MAC conference. All right, guys, got some more comments in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Carson, remember all the games we lost were winning 3 points plus Washington game. True that. How was WWE Friday Night SmackDown, Tim? Oh, man, a really shocking Friday Night SmackDown. As a matter of fact, after I get done with this live stream, I'll be doing my WWE show review of Friday Night SmackDown. And oh my goodness, man, I was really shocked to see Bronson Reed was the guy that ended up joining the new bloodline in Solo Sikoa, which is actually pretty crazy. And then Roman Reigns tried to make a call at the end of Friday Night SmackDown, and I guess the number was out of service when he tried to call the Wise Man. So pretty interesting, though. A lot of title matches, too, on Friday Night SmackDown. HBK in the chat. Here we go. Are y'all making the playoffs? I guess you're talking about my Tampa Bay Bucks, man. Yeah, I do believe the Bucks will be able to make the playoffs. Right now, this bye week is coming at a very good time for us. We've lost 3 straight games by 1 possession. So really, our record, what it is, could be a lot different than what it is right now. We're going in 4-6 at the bye week, but we're going to get a lot of guys healthy, and Mike Evans will be back. And we also signed Mike Edwards, the safety there, the Super Bowl champion for us back in 2020, and also Super Bowl champ with the Kansas City Chiefs. We got that veteran now on our team in the secondary, so that should help us. So after the bye week this week, the Buccaneers have the easiest schedule left in the NFL. So that should bode well for us. And hopefully, if we can get at least, the remaining games, if we're able to win at least 90%, 80% of those, maybe only have 1 or 2 losses the rest of the year, going maybe if 7 losses or 8 losses, maybe might not be able to get you in the playoffs. But if we're able to win most of our games, you just never know. And I really do think we have a chance to make the playoffs. So, okay, here we go. Just Jax wants to know, what are your opinions on the Cowboys? Whoo! Well, man, I could go to it a lot here when he's talking about the Cowboys. But to be honest with you, my opinion is that I don't think the front office was able to get the players that they needed in order for them to be in contention this year as far as playoff teams in the 2024 NFL season. Their running game has not been as good as it was last year. Very, very inconsistent. And it really wasn't even that good last year. Dak just kind of really played very, very well for them. And this year, that just hasn't been the case. And that probably has to do with CeeDee Lamb holding out too long and them not getting enough rapport. But it also means that their team just hasn't been meshing together, Coaching hasn't been all that great, and the team hasn't been all that great. I don't think it's really been all that terrible, but the defense, oh my goodness, they haven't been able to stop anybody, and the offense hasn't really been able to put up points at home. That's been a little shocking for me. Like, I was expecting some shootouts with the Cowboys this year, but I'm not playing, man. It has been shocking to see this offense not put up numbers whatsoever at home. You have got to do that. With my Buccaneers team, I'm kind of feeling the same way. Like, Todd Bowles is a defensive guy, and I believe in Bowles. I'm not dissing him whatsoever. I don't think that firing a head coach is what you want to do, and I think Todd Bowles has actually been a pretty decent head coach. But players have to play. And honestly, when you start looking at the way these teams have played, I will say the same thing about my Bucs defense that I'll say about the Cowboys defense. You got to make tackles. You got to play. You got to make effort. And honestly, you can see on certain plays, especially in secondary and big passing plays that are given up by both of these defenses, you've got to be able to play. And honestly, I think health has a lot to do with it. We had a lot of guys on our defense out early in the year, and then now we've had a lot of veteran guys that are out. We had a young rookie at linebacker, Dennis, that was a really, really good tackler for us, number 8. He's out the rest of the year with a shoulder injury. We lost Jamel Dean after, I think, about week 5 or 6. He's missed the last 4 or 5 games heading into this bye week, so that's been pretty big for the secondary. And we were almost the whole half the year without Antoine Winfield Jr. So honestly, if you have... And Calais Canty missed at least the first 5 games of the year, the second-year defensive lineman. So if you add 2 of those 4 missing pieces on the defense before Mike Evans and Chris Godwin went out, that's at least 1 or 2 wins in my book right there. So for me, the Bucs could easily be 5-5 or 6-4 right now, and maybe even better. And the Cowboys could honestly be a better record as right now too, but they just haven't been meshing well, especially on defense. So thank you for asking those questions there, guys. I really appreciate that, man. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. As we're going over here on our Friday football talk, just going over the chat to see what you guys have to say. We just answered Justin Jax, who's in the chat, asking about the Cowboys. All right, going to our next one from Carson. The first one in the chat. Appreciate you, Carson. The first one to drop a like. Who's your favorite WWE wrestler? Mine is Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. That's who I grew up watching. I also really, really like The Undertaker and John Cena. All right, so moving on to the next one. Liam says you're the best. How about the Bucks? Justin Jax, just to clarify, are you talking about the Milwaukee Bucks? Because you put B-U-C-K-S instead of the Bucks, like B-U-C-S, okay? Got to make sure you spell it right so I know what you're talking about there, man. And Justin Jax says facts, bro. That's what I'm talking about. So Cowboys, my team, going to get it right. And updates on Godwin. HBK, the update on Godwin is that he is definitely going to be out the rest of the regular season with a very small chance that he could possibly come back in the playoffs depending on how his surgery went and his rehab goes. When you have a messed up kind of broken ankle with some ligaments torn there, that's hard. You want to make sure you're able to rehab that and come back. But if he's able to rehab good enough, who knows? Maybe if we're able to make the playoffs, he might be able to join us. So appreciate you in the chat, man. Thank you guys for hanging out here and appreciate the question there, HBK. Justin Jack said, spitting straight facts, man. Carson says, the Cowboys diss track is on fire. Thank you guys, man. Logan W with facts in the chat. Flying Circus was Cowboys need to trade for Rodgers. Oh, man. Hey, man, you could probably get a good, decent trade offer for Dak Prescott or CeeDee Lamb, but you got to re-sign Michael Parsons. But, yeah, I don't think anyone's trading for Rodgers. Logan W wants to know, have you heard the 49ers diss track? No, not yet, man, but they definitely got us last week when we played them. That was a tough game, but they got the victory, that's for sure. HBK, we only got CD. Everybody else don't play the part. We're injured and don't got Cooks or Von Bland. And, hey, like I said, man, a lot of similarities to my Buccaneers team. A lot of injuries there and just not enough consistent play overall with a lot of people in there. Oh, and Carson giving us a countdown, apparently. We got Mike and Jake in 12 minutes. Well, Carson, I've been hearing there's a lot of issues on Netflix going on for that big boxing match. So hopefully it's all cleared up for Netflix because that's a big moneymaker for them to have a messed up live stream, that's for sure. Thank you guys for hanging out here on this Friday Football Talk with Tim Reynolds Show. Make sure you guys hit that like button and hit me up in the chat. We're going through the chat right now, going through any questions that anybody may have for the college football season or for the NFL season thus far. And once we get through the comments, I'll go back through all the games for college football this week and then what we're looking forward to heading into this weekend tomorrow for college football Saturday. I can't wait to watch College Game Day. On College Game Day tomorrow, we're going to see the boys there, Kirk Herbstreit, Pat McAfee, Desmond Howard, and Lee Corso, all those guys there with the guest picker being Cody Rhodes, too, WWE's undisputed champion, the American Nightmare, will be the guest picker tomorrow in Athens, Georgia, when College Game Day will be there for the Tennessee and Georgia game, the Volunteers taking on the Bulldogs, and hey, this could be a college football playoff eliminator game as well, guys. So thank you for hanging out here with Tim Reynolds Show. Like I said, make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate you guys hanging out here. And I'm not even making a goal of likes on this live stream, guys. I just want to see where we can go and how many questions we can get in the chat. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out here and getting along. Make sure you leave your questions in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me here on this Football Friday. All right, so Logan W wants to know about, how about DJ Metcalf? Well, DJ's been hurt a little bit this year, but I think he's been playing very, very well with his connection with Geno Smith. I'm just really shocked to see Geno Smith kind of pushing the ball downfield a little too much, kind of pushing the envelope, if you will. He's got a lot of interceptions on this year, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of what Baker Mayfield's been doing for the Bucs. I haven't really seen a lot of bad interceptions from Baker or necessarily Geno Smith in that regard, but they're just pushing the ball really too hard. They're trying to really fit the ball into places they shouldn't, and they're trying to get too many yards back during plays where they think they need to put the game on their shoulders and sort of take over, and you don't need to do that. And Geno, he's had a problem with this before. For Baker, I can totally understand it. You got so many injuries at your wide receiver position. I mean, against the San Francisco 49ers, we barely even throw it to a wide receiver in that matchup because we knew it was better for us to try to get the ball to our running backs, and his connection that he has with his tight end, Cade Otton, is obviously clearly the number one guy for him that he can rely on. So I hope the connection with Shepard sort of builds up a little bit better, because I'm not saying that you can replace Chris Godwin, but Shepard could fit that slot receiver guy that we really need. And not only that, Trey Palmer and the rookie McMillan could also fit that role very, very well, as long as they get their route running and get the playbook down a little bit better for them as well. So yeah, DK Metcalf, I think, is playing pretty good this year, dealing with some injuries, but just surprised to see how Geno Smith is playing for him this now. Flying Circus wants to know, best wrestler was the Crusher. Okay. The Dutch Ronaldo or Messi? Man, see, I'm not a big soccer guy, to be honest with you. I'll start by saying that. I know Ronaldo, much respect for him because he is the like social media darling, if you will, when it comes to soccer across the world. So that's pretty interesting to see for the most part. And then also, for me, Messi's had a little bit more of an impact over here in America. So I guess that's probably why I'll roll with Messi as well. But that's really the only reason, man. I know they're both great players, future Hall of Famers in the sport of soccer. You know, definitely global, their brand is. So thank you for the question, though, Dutch. Appreciate you. All right. Got Bands Pods wants to know, did you hear about somebody might be getting traded? Somebody might be getting traded. He might be talking about Tua for the Dolphins, but I'm not exactly sure. So, Carson, appreciate you hanging out in the chat, pal. We got another question from him. He says, Stone Cold Steve Austin, can you give me a hell yeah? Hell yeah. And I got to get myself a drink to that one. All right, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys hanging out here with Tim Reynolds Show's Football Friday as we're just chatting a little football here, guys. Make sure you guys leave me some comments and some questions that you guys may have, and we'll try to get to those throughout the chat here. And appreciate you guys, man. Oh, okay. So I think I know who you're talking about, man. Hufunga Talonga. I may have pronounced that first name. First name's a little bit longer, but I know that safety's been a big playmaker for them. And the fact that he could be on the trading block is probably more of a contract situation because that guy's been playing very, very well for the 49ers secondary for a long time. He's been a little injury prone, unfortunately, but anytime he's been on the field, he's been a very, very good safety, I would say, for that 49ers defense. So appreciate the comment, though, man. Thank you for hanging out in the chat there. Appreciate you, man. All right, Carson, with another question here, man. Appreciate you, Carson, coming in good with some good questions already, man. So do you think Burrows is in the MVP conversation? Dude, abso-freaking-lutely. I don't really want to rule out a lot of people right now in the MVP conversation because my list is a little long, and I know there's a lot of people that already immediately think Lamar Jackson. He's already looking like the MVP again. I understand that with him having 24 touchdown passes and only 2 interceptions. He's running this offense that's looking like one of the best in the league, so I can understand people's point on that. But Derrick Henry, the running back, his teammate, looks more like of an MVP candidate to me right now. You want to talk about a perfect fit in any offense? And Burrow, the numbers that Joe Burrow is putting up right now, that Thursday Night Football game last week was incredible, dude. The Jamar Chase connection with him, these guys are playing out of their minds. And it's just a shocker to see their defense not being able to give them just a little bit more. Like, the Cincinnati Bengals to me are just like my Tampa Bay Bucks. Like, we're both 4-6, and if the defense could have given them just a little bit more with them having a top 10 offense, both of these teams, oh my goodness, man. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, I really do think, Carson, that definitely Joe Burrow's in the MVP conversation. That is for sure. Nathan, welcome to the chat, man. Thoughts on yesterday's game? Well, brother, could you be a little more specific? Are you talking about the Thursday Night Football game where we had a live stream here of the Washington Commanders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles? I'm going to go ahead, Nathan, and assume that's what you're talking about for Thursday Night Football primetime. Oh, okay. So, it was really interesting to see the Commanders, the way they came out. I felt like they were being a little conservative at first and kind of maybe playing to the defense too much. Now, got to give the Eagles credit. Their defense really showed up, I thought, in this one, and I really predicted that. As a matter of fact, you guys can go check out Tim Reynolds Show's preview for this upcoming week here in NFL Week 11, and I tell you right now, I called this. I said the secondary and the way the linebackers are able to cover for the Eagles was going to really be a problem for the rookie quarterback because they're one of the best secondaries in the league right now, man. They're really meshing together, and you've seen that, especially at the end when Blankenship was able to get that interception that you knew after that interception happened, the Eagles were going to be able to either just chew up a bunch of clock or they were going to be able to pull away, which they did. So, to me, Commanders held on tough, played really good. They just meant maybe we're a little too conservative. And then you want to talk about too conservative as well. Down by down by 16 points. So you need 2 scores and 2 extra points. I know that's a lot, but you can still make it happen with the time you have left. You have like half of the quarter left pretty much in the fourth quarter here. And the Commanders offense marched down the field and ended up getting a touchdown. But dude, they took probably like almost 6 minutes off the clock. Like, they were not in hurry-up mode at all. I didn't see a lot more quick pass plays that you needed to see, and they ran the ball a bunch on that last drive, almost like they thought it was already over. So that, to me, was what was a little more shocking to me more than anything. Yeah, seeing the end of that Commanders-Eagles game. Sorry, guys, had a little technical issue there. But seeing the end of that Commanders game against the Eagles was... Like, I predicted the Eagles were going to win, but I just thought that, Commanders probably played just a little too conservative in that one, and you sort of seen it at the end during the 2-minute drill. So, Nathan, thank you very much for your comment there. Appreciate you hanging out in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for dropping the like button there, for hitting that like button. We're up to 7 likes already in the chat, hanging out here on this Friday football talk here on Tim Reynolds Show. Appreciate you guys. All right, so... Carson says Dan Quinn is at fault for their loss. Well, I would say more of the offensive coordinator than anything else there, Carson, because I'm pretty sure if you look back at the end of that game, although you really can't go back and relook at these games anymore. So for me, I did the live play-by here on Tim Reynolds Show, and you could see that Dan Quinn was very, very upset that the offense was not picking up the pace, getting a little bit faster. Like, they were taking their sweet time way, way, way too much near the end of that game. I understand you're down by 16, but you still have to act like your team has a chance in that one, okay? And you never know with the way Daniels has been playing, even in that game. So, to me, I don't put it on Dan Quinn. I maybe put it on the offensive coordinator. You have to be able to play. You got to be able to call better plays than that. I mean, they were inside the 25, maybe inside the 20 on that final drive where they ended up getting a touchdown to cut the lead in the fourth quarter, and they ran too many rushing plays. Like, too many just handed off. And it was to the third-string running back nonetheless. It wasn't even to Robinson Jr. or Eckler. That's where it really ticked me off. Like, I'm serious. If I was a Commanders fan, I'm pissed at the way that game ended. And I can't put that on Dan Quinn. I put that on the players and the offensive coordinator calling bad plays. Like, even Daniels, he's a rookie. Obviously, I don't expect a rookie to do this. Maybe a veteran quarterback would, but you got to change the play there. Like that fourth down play when they got stopped earlier in the game. No, that was a terrible fourth down play, and you see they executed very, very sloppy on that one. So to me, you got to put that on the offensive coordinator, if anything else. All right. So Logan W in the chat says, "What do you think will win the Super Bowl?" Oh, so my Super Bowl winner, man, I think right now you got to roll with the Chiefs, right? But, I mean, it's going to be tough. Right now, my Super Bowl pick is the Chiefs versus the Lions, but I don't really like calling who's going to win the Super Bowl. I'd like to see who gets into the Super Bowl and then try to predict who's going to win then, because you never know how these teams are going to look until we get into the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, there's always that one team in each conference that is like catching the momentum, catching or becoming a very hot team and could take out anybody. And we've seen it with a couple of times, like the New York Football Giants did a couple of times. So you just never know. And it's going to be really cool to see. I think this year's playoffs is going to be crazy. Like, there's going to be a lot of awesome playoff football in the NFL this year. That's for sure. Thank you, Logan W. Appreciate the awesome question there. All right, that Aussie guy wants to know, what do you think of the Vikings' Justin Jefferson? Man, what can I say? I mean, if it wasn't Jamar Chase having such a good year, he'd be right there right now up in the top guys for Offensive Player of the Year this year in the NFL. So, Justin Jefferson, really, really good right now, especially with Sam Darnold at quarterback. But hopefully that offense can start getting back going, though. Last week, they looked pretty bad, the Vikings, against the Jaguars. So hopefully they're able to start getting a little bit better there for the Vikings offense for Justin Jefferson so he can ball out a little bit more. So thank you for your question, that Aussie guy. Carson wants to know, wait, do OC choose the plays? Well, to be honest with you, with a coach like Dan Quinn, who's known as a defensive coach, I can't imagine that Dan Quinn is calling the plays, Carson. So absolutely, the offensive coordinator, and I don't know his name, so I can't tell you who the offensive coordinator is for the Washington Commanders, but whoever he is, did not call a good game there at the very, very end. He called it conservatively, like they already thought that they lost, like they really didn't stand a chance. I understand you're down by 16 points. You need 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. But you never know. If you play like you have a chance, you never know. Football's a crazy sport, man. You need 1 turnover, you need 1 bounce to go your way, and you can have a chance. Now, if you're down by 3 scores, okay, put the backup quarterback in then. I mean, they had the 3rd string running back in almost all of that last drive when they ended up scoring the touchdown to cut the lead before the game ended up being kneeled out by after the onside kick. So, like, you got to call better plays than that as an offensive coordinator for those Washington Commanders. So, appreciate your question there, Carson. You hanging out in the chat. All right. Logan W. is predicting a Lions-Bills Super Bowl. You want to talk about nostalgia? Like, 2 franchises that, I mean, the Bills more recently, obviously, especially in the 90s, with them being able to make all those runs of straight Super Bowls but never being able to win one, which is crazy to think about. That stat is always going to be crazy to think about when you think of the NFL. But then also how good the Bills have been the last 8 or so years. I mean, if it wasn't for the Chiefs, we could be looking at a Bills dynasty, or at least a couple of Super Bowls, maybe even 1 Super Bowl run with Josh Allen at the helm. But hey, in the playoffs, you just never know when it comes to the NFL. That is for sure. But good prediction there for a Super Bowl. That'd be a fun Super Bowl to watch, though. That's for sure. All right, here we go. Cool Cat wants to know, what does the Cowboys got to do to get better? Appreciate you hanging out in the chat, Cool Cat. So we answered this a little earlier in the chat. Someone was asking just like what's the problem with the Cowboys? And honestly, right now with Dak being hurt, it's just probably an uphill battle for them to be able to look competitive or get competitive enough with what their record is right now, only having 3 wins on the year. If the defense, though, with Michael Parsons coming back, can start really tackling a lot better, I think, playing a little bit more team football, and if they can control the clock, which means run the football, if the Cowboys can do that, which they've been known to do, if you can do that, run the football, control the clock, that's what's going to give you the best chance to win. Have a defense that can attack, tackle very good, force turnovers, and that's the best way for this Cowboys team to be able to have any chance if they want to. Now, there's a lot of chance to get into the playoffs, but they're going to have to go on a big run, and they're going to have to play very, very good, not only on defense, attacking, forcing turnovers, but also running the ball better on offense if they want any chance as the Cowboys are this year in 2024. So thank you, Cool Cat. Appreciate your question there in the chat. Text Gun says, go watch the boxing match, man. It's Paul versus Tyson. Ooh, it should be a really, really good one, I imagine. Man, you know what? Maybe I can get it on the TV in the background here. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, here we go. If anyone wants to watch the fight on YouTube, we automatically banned. Yeah, definitely not trying to do that on no live streams. So thank you, Carson. Appreciate you guys hanging out here in the chat. This is Friday Football here with Tim Reynolds Show. Chat, let's, people saying get the fight on, so let's see if we can get the fight on the TV here. Appreciate you guys hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. It's some Friday football talk. People talking about that Jake Paul Tyson fight too, man. It's supposed to be pretty sick. That's for sure. Okay, Carson says that. Yep, we got Netflix, of course, man. We got Monday Night Raw coming to Netflix soon. So, man, you know your boys had Netflix for years now, so it wasn't no way I was getting rid of that live stream with WWE Monday Night Raw coming, because that, that's going to be sick. That's for dang sure. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Do, do, doom, 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 doom. Oh, it's going to take a minute. Appreciate you guys hanging out here, man. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Chat, if you can go ahead and give me a second and keep everybody entertained and hanging out here for a little while. Got to get this Netflix going here. Obviously, of course, I'm on live stream and Netflix isn't working yet. I guess it's definitely still having problems. So try to get this on here just so we can kind of maybe do a little play-by-play, seeing what happens with it or whatever. But make sure you guys hit that like button as we're doing Friday football talk here on Tim Reynolds Show. I'm answering any college football questions and NFL questions that you do have. If we don't get any more football questions in the chat, we'll go back to going over the college football week that is right now, see the games to look forward to coming up on college football Saturday, and also we'll look at all the games to look forward to on NFL Sunday here in week 11. But guys, make sure you hit that like button, like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show, and also check out my other content that I got. I also have a preview there on my videos that you could see for week 11 of the 2024 NFL season. You can already see that I predicted the Eagles win in the Thursday night football game, and exactly what I said about the secondary really locking down the Commanders. They really stood out, especially the coverage from the linebackers in that football game. So thank you guys. Make sure you hang out there in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Oh, cool. Thank you, Carson. Appreciate that. Logan W., appreciate you in the chat too. Cool Cat, appreciate you too, man. Aussie guy, Logan W., Carson Tiered Gun, appreciate you too, man. Justin Jacks, HBK, Liam, shout out to everybody that's been in the chat here. Appreciate you. Guevara, thanks for hanging out there, man. Appreciate you guys. All right, be right back. And gosh dang it. Leave it up to Netflix to do this thing. Okay. Think we're back. Chat, we good? We good, chat? Technical difficulties there. Let me know if we're good. You guys hear me okay? Sorry about that, guys. Had a little technical difficulty there, of course. We back. Good. Hey, what's up, Motown Mitch? Welcome to the chat, brother, on this Friday football talk here on Tim Reynolds Show. We're just chilling, hanging out, checking out all the things happening in football, answering some football questions there. All right, appreciate you guys hanging out there in the chat. Everyone's asking if we're watching the fight, man. I guess everyone's watching the fight. Well, we're getting it up here on the big TV screen here for Tim Reynolds Show, so at least then I can answer you guys' questions in the chat about it, that's for sure. Appreciate you guys hanging out there. And Carson says it's time. Okay, Cool Cat, appreciate you in the chat. Wants to know, is Patrick Mahomes really dull coach and quarterback at the same time and seems to be in the camera more than the darn coach. Well, the camera's going to love Patrick Mahomes there, man. I can totally understand where you're coming from, Cool Cat. But you know what? Like, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. And when you play that good and when you earn a reputation like he has, that's definitely going to be what you want to do. And that's what you want. You want the camera on you. You want the attention on you. And, hey, when you're Patrick Mahomes, that's what you're going to do. So Carson wants to know how many rounds to go for the fight tonight there as Mike Tyson's taking on Jake Paul. I don't know, man. Maybe 5 rounds? 6? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Yo, Tyler Helton in the chat. Appreciate you there, brother. And of course, the Netflix is not wanting to work right for the fight guys, so it's maybe X-nay. But everyone's asking about it, so if we get it on, we get it on. Still loading. All right, here we go. And Motown Mitch in the chat thinks that Tyson knocks him cold in a few seconds. Oh, man. Carson says, hope London doesn't come back. Yeah, that was pretty interesting in the last live stream, guys. I love the back and forth that we seen there on that one. All right, so while we're waiting on that, guys, we'll go back to the college football slate here as we finish with the last game on Wednesday with Eastern Michigan and the University of Ohio. And of course, Netflix, try again. Oh, man. All right, so we see Eastern Carolina took on the University of Tulsa. Eastern Carolina gets the victory 38-31. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll see if this even loads, guys. Honestly, it's not shocking me that it's doing this, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, so it looks like Eastern Carolina was able to get a big win here over Tulsa. Tulsa, unfortunately, now goes to 3-7 on the year and 1-5 in the American Conference. And we also see Eastern Carolina, after scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter, comes back to win to get a 38-31 victory. And now Eastern Carolina improves to 6-4 and 4-2 in the American Conference. As we see the stats here for that game real quick, we see that Eastern Carolina's starting quarterback, Caden Hosier, number 4, was able to throw 24 for 37 for 314 yards and a touchdown, but he also threw 3 picks as well. All right, so there we go. So it looks like it's still the previous fight before that on the Netflix fight. And Jamie, what's up? Welcome to the chat, man. We got all the old crew from the stream the other night on Thursday in here. Thank you. Jamie, thank you Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I don't know if you can see the sign, but also did a little video on it. Your boy Tim for Tim Reynolds Show reached 500 subscribers. Thanks to you awesome people hanging out with the chat last night. Appreciate you guys. But now, just to let you guys know, to add a little bit of sizzle here on this live stream, we got the Netflix Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight on. So hopefully we'll bring you guys a little bit of commentary there for that as well. Now, I've got to change the volume here a little bit because we don't need to listen to any of that stuff right now. So let's get back to football, though, man. And Jamie, yes, you did pass the quiz. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you guys. All right. Let's get back to the chats here. Okay, so Tyler says, can't wait until WWE's on Netflix. Tyler, I was just talking about this earlier, man. When they move to Netflix, Monday Night Raw is going to be awesome. And also, guys, just got done watching WWE's Friday Night SmackDown tonight. And as soon as I get done with this live stream, I will be doing either tonight or early tomorrow my WWE show review of Friday Night SmackDown for Tim Reynolds Show. So please make sure you guys check that out and like and subscribe to the channel. I'm sure you WWE fans will love it. I'm telling you guys right now. All right. Appreciate you, Tyler Helton, hanging out in the chat. Appreciate you. Carson says they're doing at least 8 rounds, and who's ready for Christmas? Yo, boy, I already got my first Christmas decoration out in the yard. Now, normally I don't decorate before Thanksgiving, but this year I'm definitely doing it because last year me and my wife moved into our house just before Christmas. So with that being said, now this year I got the whole year, got the month before Christmas to get ready. So I'm dazzling up the house, man. I'm putting a bunch of lights. It's one of those things I enjoy doing for the holidays. It's kind of a tradition too for me and my family because I used to go help my grandpa all the time with his Christmas lights and his Christmas display setup. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate your interaction in the chat here, man. I haven't really had a chance to talk too much football yet, but I'm sure we'll get to some more here. So guys, make sure you like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show, and make sure you drop some more questions in the chat on what you guys want to talk about when it comes to football, either in college football or NFL football. All right. Going to our next few in the chat. Shout out to Jamie. Welcome to the chat. WL, welcoming Jamie to the chat as well. Carson, don't worry, match don't start for a while. Appreciate you, Carson. It's nice that we were able to get that figure out and situated there. Motown Mitch, want to bet, Carson? Uh-oh, already doing it. Watch out. Hope Penn State can beat Purdue. Jamie, that's not even something you should speak into existence. As a matter of fact, we're going to go to that matchup just because. Jamie wants to mention it, so now we're going to talk about it. Because we see at 3:30, number 4 Penn State is traveling to take on the University of Purdue, who are 1-8 on the season, 0-6 in the Big Ten. You know, like, that's not good. Penn State is favored by 28.5 points with a point total of 50.5. So, yeah, I may not take the spread because that's a lot of freaking points. 28.5, I may not take the spread. You may pick Purdue to cover the spread, but you don't got to worry about Penn State, dog. Penn State should easily win that game. That's for sure. Now, do they deserve to be in the college football playoff top 4? That's a realistic question. Something I'm sure a lot of media has been talking about, because I'll tell you what, the way these rankings are in college football playoff, they don't do it like college basketball, I'll tell you that. And that kind of ticks me off. You would think that these guys would follow sort of the analysis and the way and structure that we see NCAA basketball sort of does for March Madness, and they don't. They don't. And that, to me, I think is hogwash. I think that that's very lazy on their part. Like, you should be able to do that because the strength of schedule for a bunch of teams, especially in the SEC and especially in the Big Ten, have a way harder strength of schedule than a lot of these other teams do. Now, I'm not saying that Penn State can't beat any of those teams, but I'm just saying you have to go by what they have to go with in order for them to pick who the best teams are. Like, I don't really think Penn State's one of the top 4 best teams because they already lost to one of the teams in the top 4. So, and that's their only loss on the year. You know what I mean? So, I guess they're just kind of ranking these teams, though, with how bad their loss was or not, because Penn State's loss only is to Ohio State. Hopefully that means something. Oh, man. Hype video for the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight's getting started. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out with Tim Reynolds Show's Football Friday. Chat taking over with the Chris Paul, the Paul Tyson fight here. Appreciate you guys hanging out here with Tim Reynolds Show. All right, so see, we've gone through the questions now in the chat. So Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson should be a good one. So, guys, we'll go back to the college football slate here, and we'll talk about our first game for Saturday. And we got to talk about my Florida Gators taking on the LSU Tigers, who are ranked number 22 in the country, as LSU will be traveling to Gainesville at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium to take on the Florida Gators, who are 4-5 this year, 2-4 in the SEC. It's been a tough year for my Florida Gators, but man, they've really played a lot of teams tough this year. Haven't lost by very many blowouts, but against Texas, that's exactly what happened, was a big blowout. But hopefully for this Gators team, we'll see DJ Lagway be able to come back after suffering that thigh sort of hamstring injury that he had a few weeks ago. Players to look out for: the true freshman running back for the Gators, Jaden Braw, number 13, has been doing a very, very good job this year, especially in the last few weeks. He has a total of 411 yards and 6 touchdowns on the year. He's also averaging 4.6 yards a carry, so doing pretty good for the Florida Gators. So hopefully it should be a good game. The LSU Tigers are loaded with weapons, and they are 3.5-point favorites in this matchup. Now, with the Florida Gators playing as tough as they've played, I really do think that this will be a lot closer of a game than the experts think. And you know what? I'll take the Gators in that one to get the upset. I really do think that will happen there. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you guys leave some comments too. Let me know what you guys think of this Football Friday and any questions you may have that we can go over with you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out here. All right. So we see that Motown Mitch says Penn State and that school, Ohio, might be decent this year, but Michigan still defends national champs. Just saying. Yeah, I know. Tough year for Michigan. The quarterback play has really held them back, even though they've had pretty good defensive play for most of this year. But really sad to see the Michigan Wolverines with the way they are right now, but it's definitely a rebuilding year for them. So nice to see them be able to get the championship last year. I don't know if Penn State or even Ohio State are national championship caliber teams, but we'll wait and see. I know Oregon is. I know Oregon's a national championship caliber team. Jamie with the question here in the chat. What do the Vikings do with J.J. McCarthy? Pretty good question there, Jamie. The Vikings right now just got to make sure this rehab, I guess, goes a little bit more smoother. He did have an injection, a second injection or a second surgery, if you will, on that knee to be able to help with swelling that I guess he had when he ramped up the physical recovery process. So hopefully slows it down a little bit on that. He's still able to learn a lot of things from Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's definitely a guy that you'll be able to learn a lot from. To be able to be a better quarterback in the NFL, especially with the road that he's been able to travel and how good he's playing this year. So definitely watch out for that one right now. So good question, though, Jamie. Appreciate you with that. There's a lot of high school football games going on right now. There's also Los Angeles, Garfield High School, Lauderdale High School, Roosevelt High School in Los Angeles. Cool Cat, thank you for shouting out the high schools for High School Football Friday. Definitely missed those days, man. I didn't get a chance to play a lot of football when I was in high school due to some family stuff. But I dang sure tried out just about every year, or at least in spring training. Definitely trained with the guys when I was doing wrestling. I did wrestling from sophomore year all the way to senior year in high school. So shout out to all those high schools on this Football Friday. Hope they're doing good as well. Motown says start JJ as soon as he gets back. Hell yeah, man. Carson says my high school lost in the playoffs tonight. Man, tough break though. But congratulations for your team getting in the playoffs, man. Round of applause, Carson, for your high school, and congratulations on a successful year. Tough break in the playoffs, man. All right, guys. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. Hit that like button and leave some comments with some football questions for the college football season or for the NFL season. Appreciate you guys. Oh, Motown Mitch with a quick question before we go back over to the college football slate this weekend. Motown Mitch wants to know, question for you. Does the Lions lose another game this season? Well, Motown, how about we go straight to the source and we will bring up the schedule for those NFL Lions, and we'll see when Detroit might lose another game. Okay, so this week they face Jacksonville Jaguars with backup quarterback Mac Jones. I think we can call that a win. Next week, Indianapolis Colts. Okay, we might be able to call that one a win. Chicago Bears. Yeah, might be able to call that one a win. So that's 9, 10, so 11-1. And then they face the Packers. So Packers played them pretty tough last time. Maybe against the Packers on the 5th of December. That one's in prime time. The week after that, we see the Buffalo Bills as they come into town. Now that weekend before as well, that's also the Packers coming in to Detroit. So that's going to be a big advantage for them. So you got 2 tough games there back-to-back late in the season. December 5th, late night, prime time against the Packers in Detroit. And then December 15th against the Bills at home. That could be a tough game. Now, a week after that, they got the Bears. Week after that, the end of October, Monday night against the 49ers, ESPN. That one could be another one. And then the end of the season with the Vikings. So, Motown, to answer your question, you got the Packers on the 5th of December. The Bills. Shaq and Gronk want to start a fight. Oh gosh, I had to make sure I seen what the heck that was. Anytime you see Gronk and Shaq on any TV, you definitely got to see what they're talking about, right? Love Gronk, man. That's cool. Wow. Okay. But yep, so like I said, Mo Thomas, to answer your question there, I think the next loss, the next crucial game for the Lions will definitely be against the Packers the beginning of December. And then they have a stretch of games there where starting with the Packers, then the Bills, and then the Niners and Vikings. So 4 of their next 5 games to end the season, we could see some losses. And not to mention, they could be resting some players by then. So look out for that. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out here with Tim Reynolds Show for this Football Friday. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. We're up to 14 likes. Way to go, guys. Thank you for hanging out here. Appreciate it. Oh, Carson, I see with another good question in the chat. Go back to that one. Carson, appreciate you hanging out here with us, man. Says, do you think Boise State can stay in the playoff picture? Yes, I am a big fan of Boise State. They have sort of the same colors as the Florida Gators. So when I was younger, I really liked them, especially watching them in that Fiesta Bowl back in the early 2000s. Oh, beating Oklahoma the way they did, that was one of the best college football games I ever watched in my life. If I thought I was a football fan before that, no. Guys, I became a die-hard football fan after watching the Boise State Broncos do their thing in the Fiesta Bowl. That was crazy. That Liberty play to win it all. Wow. Just wow. So many big plays in that game. So this year, Boise State, they have a Heisman Trophy candidate at running back, and that guy has been balling out. Jeffries, I believe his name is, for the Boise State Broncos. So I think Boise State can definitely stay in the college football playoff picture. Carson, appreciate your question there in the chat. All right. Jamie says it's crazy how you streamed twice today. Hey, man, yeah, I streamed till late night last night, and I told you guys I wanted to hop on here to do a little football talk with you guys, just talk about the state of football and what's going on right now, answer some questions in the chat. I figured after some really, really good feedback from you guys, and I got to say thank you to you guys, too. If you read the sign, I finally go to over 500 subscribers. So finally starting to make some headway here on this channel as I follow my dream to be a YouTuber for football and for NASCAR and WWE. You know, it's been a real dream of mine to be able to do this, to cover these sports and be able to talk to you guys about it, especially because I do feel like mainstream media, especially for the NFL, it's just too much of the kind of like the drama or the big popular teams. And I think that you got to talk about everybody. Like right now in the NFL, right? I think there's more talk about the teams that are right there at like 500, right inside or right outside the playoff picture. Those teams are the big talk, I think, right now of the NFL, and nobody wants to talk about them because everyone wants to talk about either the Cowboys or the New York teams or whoever's really at the top, right, playing their best ball. Well, I think right now there's going to be a lot of these teams very middle in the pack that, mark my words, you could see a wild card team definitely end up in either one of these championship games, whether it's the AFC championship game or the NFC championship game. So it should be a very, very good playoffs this 2024 NFL season, and I can't wait. And plus Christmas is coming up too, guys, so you know Tim over here had to spread some joy and hang out with you guys and just talk some football here on this Football Friday. Appreciate you guys hanging out with the show. Make sure you hit that like button. All right, we also got the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight on the TV, so I'll be able to kind of go over that with you guys as well. So thank you guys for hanging out here with us. All right, so Jamie in the chat says, do the 49ers make the playoffs? Woo! You know, it's a good question, Jamie. It's a good question. The 49ers play like they're a playoff team, but I don't know if they're consistent enough to be a playoff team. Very interesting. Let's look at the San Francisco 49ers remaining schedule, okay? So they got the Seahawks coming up this week, and then the Green Bay Packers. That's a tough game. Then the Buffalo Bills. That's a tough game. Bears and the Rams. Rams tough. Rams game's still going to be tough. And then they end the season with the Dolphins, Lions, and Cardinals. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I could easily see 4 more losses for the Niners. I really could. And that puts them at 8 losses. So maybe just sneak into the playoffs. I'm not sure. The Rams game's a toss-up. The Cardinals game's a toss-up. So I picked them to lose one of those. Packers and Bills should be able to beat the 49ers. So do the 49ers make the playoffs? I think right now the Niners have a chance to be a playoff team. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. Appreciate your questions and everything. You guys freaking rock, man. All right. So Jamie with the good question about the Niners. Vikings beat the brakes off of the Titans, says Tredick Webb. That's right, man. Vikings are looking really, really good this year. Definitely contenders in the NFC. Carson says he's getting some snowboards from Christmas. Congratulations, Carson. Never got a chance to go snowboarding yet, but should be fun. Man, allergies suck. I'll tell you that. All right. Carson says fight's not till 12. Now, they're definitely doing a lot of pre stuff, but it's good though that the stream's at least working it up for you guys. And just a little background, just a little something to keep everybody involved here. We haven't had too many people in the chat with too many questions here tonight, at least not as much as we had on the live stream before. So thank you guys for being interactive. We'll try to keep you guys into it here with what's going on. So moving on to our next one. Let's see. Do the Eagles make it past the wild card? Jamie wants to know. Another good question there, Jamie. I think they have the ability to do so. They have the players this year. Saquon Barkley being on that team really does make a difference for them. But I guess it just depends on who they face. Right now, I don't like to make any really predictions about like who are the teams making it to the NFC and the AFC championship game? No, I mean, I may be able to guess, with the two top teams right now on who and less will make it to the Super Bowl. And I really do think that those are the two best teams right now in the NFL, the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. But there's a lot of other middle of the pack teams that are still very, very good. So you have to kind of check that out. So, all right. So going up to our next question here, Cool Cat wants to know, who looks good in the fight right now? Oh, so the fight has not started yet. They're doing a lot of like pre-stuff here. They're showing some flashback from Jake Paul's last match when he lost by decision. So, yep, and then they showed him there against Diaz, and I guess that's what it is, his last match. So just some highlights right now for that. Maybe even 1 a.m., Carson says. Woo! Well, I hope not. That'd be a late start, that's for sure. All right, Motown Mitch says, I see 5 losses for the Niners. Yep, man. Hey, you could definitely see that happen. Seahawks are about to get their first win in forever against the Niners, though. Oh, well, hey, Motown. Not bad. And Motown also wants to know who I got tonight. Man, I'm rolling with Tyson in this one, man. I really do think it'll be a good fight, but I think Tyson will be able to get the win. All right, guys, so let's go back to our football talk here on this Football Friday. So we'll go over some of the games that are on right now. We got North Texas at 5-4 taking on UTSA, the Roadrunners. The Roadrunners being the home team, 4-5. They have the lead in this one, 41-47. And then in our next matchup here, North Texas right there trailing 27-41 with 6 minutes left to go in that game. UCLA 4-5 in the Big Ten, taking on Washington, who is 5-5 in the Big Ten, and Washington leads that one in the third quarter, 17-13. University of Houston is trailing 7-3, as they're the road team facing the 3-6 Arizona Wildcats, University of Arizona. And Wyoming lost today in the Mountain West Conference to Colorado State, who remains undefeated in conference play and improves to 7-3 on the season with a 24-10 victory. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out here, man. Appreciate you guys hanging out on this Football Friday. Make sure you guys leave some comments for some questions that I can answer for you guys. I see we already got another one from Jamie. Appreciate you, Jamie, with all the good questions you got here, man. What NFL team will have the biggest fall off? Ooh, okay. Jamie, let's be a little more specific. All right, so are you seeing a team that right now is like in the playoffs or in contention, or just any team? Any NFL team will have the biggest fall off? Because there might be a bunch of bad ones that we see have even a worse fall off. You know what I mean? All right, here we go. So looking at the teams right now and their records, if I had to pick the biggest fall off, Jamie, I think I just have to roll with the Chicago Bears. I know they have a losing record right now, but they're 4-1 at home. And I just think with their remaining schedule being as tough as it's going to be, I mean, could the Chicago Bears even win another game the rest of the year? They got Packers this week, Vikings next week, Lions week after that, the Niners, then the Vikings again, then the Lions, then the Seahawks, and the Packers. The Lions could lose all those, or I'm sorry, the Packers could lose all those games. The Bears. Gosh, guys got me all flustered. The Bears could lose all the games. The Bears take on the Packers this week. The Bears could lose all of their remaining games, guys. Like, there's no easy win there. Packers, then the Vikings, then the Lions, then the Niners, then the Vikings again, then the Lions again, then the Seahawks, and then the Packers. So, Jamie, I think it's definitely going to be the Chicago Bears who have the biggest fall off of any team this year. That is for sure. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show's Football Friday live here on November 15th. Make sure you guys hit that like button and leave some more comments. Let me guys know what you guys have as far as questions, football questions here on the show. Thank you guys for hanging out here as we're celebrating over 500 subscribers here on Tim Reynolds Show. And hey, man, we're almost there to 550. Maybe we can make it happen, folks. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. All right, Jamie, another cool question from you there, bro. A team that has a winning record or close. Yeah, like I said, man, I think the Chicago Bears are going to have the biggest fall off of any team in the NFL. All right. So let's go back to our college football slate. We just got done talking about the Gators versus LSU coming up. Louisiana State University, the Tigers, they come in at 6-3 on the year, a 3-2 record in the SEC, and ranked the 22nd team in the country overall in the top 25 rankings. So Florida will be looking for the upset in this one, and I'm definitely rolling with the underdogs. I believe the Gators can catch the Tigers slipping and get a victory here. Next up, guys, we got the South Florida Bulls taking on the Charlotte 49ers. And South Florida comes in this one at 4-5 on the year, 2-3 in the American Conference. And they also come in as a 2.5-point favorite in this matchup. Watch for Atkins, the outstanding wide receiver for the Bulls, who has 480 yards on the year and a touchdown. Watch out for that veteran senior wide receiver to have a big impact in this game. And for the Charlotte team, we'll look over some key guys for them. Their quarterback, Deshaun Purdy, not too bad this year as far as throwing 935 yards, 5 TDs, and 3 interceptions. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The fight's about to start, guys. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, so in this one, guys, I really do think that the Bulls can come in here and get a win over the Charlotte 49ers. Should be a very interesting game, that's for sure, to check out on the Saturday college football slate. All right, next up, guys, we got the number 2 ranked team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes at 8-1 and 5-1 in Big Ten conference play, taking on Northwestern, who's 4-5 this year and 2-10 in conference play in the Big Ten, as the Ohio State Buckeyes come in as a 29-point favorite. And this game will also be played inside Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Northwestern being the home team. Watch out for the upset. Maybe not in this one, folks, but hopefully a good game. All right. Next up, an SEC matchup where we will see the number 3 ranked Texas Longhorns take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Texas comes in this one with an 8-1 record, 4-1 in the Southeastern Conference play. But the Arkansas Razorbacks are definitely a tough team. They come in at 5-4 on the year, 3-3 in the SEC, and this could be an upset alert for the Texas Longhorns. Yes, right here, guys. You heard it on Tim Reynolds Show. I really do think we could see a big upset here. Right now, the Texas Longhorns are 12.5-point favorites. I think it'll be interesting to see if that spread really lasts that long. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that, than what the spread says. They are going with a 57.5-point total in this one, so that'll be pretty interesting. But when you look at the stats here for both teams, I mean, the Arkansas Razorbacks really fill up the stat sheet a lot better than what you see from the Texas team. Now, Quentin Ewers was a Heisman candidate at the beginning of the year, but he got hurt, so he doesn't really have as many good stats as you would expect from him this year. He does have 19 touchdown passes on the year, which is more than the Arkansas Razorback. As we see, Green has over 2,000 yards passing, 11 TDs, and 7 interceptions. And then Jackson, also the running back for Arkansas, almost 600 yards on the ground with 10 TDs rushing. And then Armstrong, a big, tall, lengthy guy for the Razorbacks, 857 yards receiving on the year. But, man, they're not giving Arkansas a whole lot of chance to win this game. But I tell you what, watch out for the upset in that one. All right, next up, guys, we got the University of Utah, who's 4-5 on the year and 1-5 in Big 12 play, taking on the University of Colorado. That's ranked number 17th in the country, 7-2 on the year and 5-1 in Big 12 play. A lot of celebrities there for the Netflix. What's up, Shaquille O'Neal? All right. Yeah, so in this matchup here in the Big 12, this should be pretty interesting. Although Colorado comes in as a 13.5-point favorite in this one, I really do think that they're going to be able to really take advantage of this one and show their worth. I don't think the Utah team is going to be able to slow down the Colorado offense, as we see Sanders has over 2,882 yards passing, 24 TD passes, and only 6 interceptions on the year. So really, really good, efficient offense there for Colorado. And Heisman Trophy candidate Travis Hunter has 69 receptions for 856 yards and 9 TDs on the year. And he's also balling at the corner position for the Colorado defense that's really starting to step up. So in this one, I'm definitely rolling with the Colorado team. I think the Buffaloes can really be able to do a lot here as they're the home team in Boulder. That could definitely play a difference in this one. And then, man, a good matchup, an interesting matchup in the ACC. As we see the 7-2 Clemson Tigers, number 20 ranked team in the country, 6-1 in ACC play, take on the Pittsburgh Panthers, 7-2 and 3-2 in ACC conference play. As the University of Pittsburgh was looking like the candidate to really win the ACC early this year, but I don't think they're looking like it now after losing a couple of close games recently. But Clemson's going to look to hopefully stay in the playoff hunt. They need to win this one and avoid a third loss if Clemson wants a chance to contend in the college football playoff this year. And right now, Clemson opens as an 11-point favorite in this one. And I really do think that Clemson's going to handle this one and get the victory here. And this one over Pittsburgh, over the University of Pittsburgh. And we also see the stats here as we see the fight's about to get started. Cade Klubnik, the quarterback for the Clemson Tigers, has 2,275 yards passing with 24 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions on the year. So he's definitely balling out for that Clemson Tigers team. And Tim Reynolds Show is going to come up with this. I think Clemson's going to win this one, man. Oh, crap. Fight's about to start, guys. All right, let's go back to the chat here. We got a couple more questions here. Remember 2 years ago when everyone thought all the NFC East would make the playoffs? Yeah, Jamie, that was a crazy year a couple years ago, that's for sure. Motown Mitch says Razorbacks in Texas is an old rivalry that goes way back and they don't like each other. Yeah, Motown, not a lot of people know that, man. Definitely one of those things for me, man, where those old school rivalries do mean something. So, oh crap, here comes Jake Paul. And that's one hell of an entrance. Damn. You want to ride in our little rider? Oh, Motown Mitch with some awesome comments here. Oh boy. Coming in the end at night. Appreciate you guys in the chat. So, love Motown Mitch's comment. Last known footage of Jake Paul on his feet. That's funny. And then we see Carson. She's got a basketball game in the morning, but I got to watch the Fight and Tim Reynolds show. Well, Carson, appreciate you hanging out here with us, man. It's really been cool having you guys on the chat. One round, breaking news. Jake Paul will not be able to walk ever again. That's for sure, guys. All right, let's go to our next matchup here. A pretty good matchup, I believe, as we see the number 25 ranked team in the country, the University of Tulane, 8-2 on the year, taking on the University of Navy. The Naval Academy is 7-2 on the year, 5-1 in the American Conference, but Tulane comes into this game 6-0 in the American Conference. Watch out, as Tulane is a 7.5 point favorite in this one, but I think Navy can get the upset in this matchup. Then we see Liberty University, 6-2, taking on UMass. And Liberty's been pretty good all year long. They come in as a 14-point favorite in this one, and I do think Liberty will handle business in that matchup as well. Then next up, guys, we got Louisiana Tech, 3-6 on the year, taking on Western Kentucky, who is 7-2 on the year, but 5-0 and undefeated in the Conference USA play. Carson says that's one hell of an entrance for Jake Paul. That's for sure, man. That is for sure. All right, so in this matchup, I really do think that Western Kentucky's got the advantage. They definitely look like a way better team here. They're coming in as a 12.5 point favorite in this matchup. Should be a really, really good football game, but I think Western Kentucky's going to win it. University of Louisiana Monroe, 5-4 on the year, coming to take on the 3-6 Auburn Tigers. Auburn is a 24-point favorite in this one. I'd say take Monroe with the points. Auburn probably will win the game, but I would take the points with Monroe, the University of Louisiana Monroe. All right, Murray State taking on the University of Kentucky Wildcats. 3-6 on the year, taking on Murray State, who's 1-9. I really expect Kentucky to use their home field advantage in this one to be able to get the victory in this one. All right, Mercer, 9-1, comes in to take on Alabama, who's the number 10th rated team in the country, and 7-2 on the year. Could be an interesting matchup, but Mercer's a Division II team, so watch out for that one. Next up, Florida International, 3-6 on the year and 2-3 in Conference USA play, takes on Jacksonville State, who are 6-3 and 5-0 in conference play. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jacksonville State Gamecocks, I believe they are coached by Rich Rodriguez, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, here comes Mike. And here comes Mike coming out to the ring. Man, you guys convinced me, man. I got my chat in here convincing me to watch this Netflix fight on this football Friday. Appreciate you guys, man. Carson, thank you, man. Jamie, Motown Mitch, you guys are awesome, dude. Appreciate Cool Cat. Thank you guys all for hanging out in here, man. Tyler Helton, appreciate you too, man. Hopefully get some more football questions from you, Tyler. Logan W., appreciate you hanging out as well. Thank you guys so much, man. Really means a lot to me, dude. Appreciate all the support, guys. Wow. Never thought I'd see 58-year-old Mike Tyson in a boxing ring. Wow. Crazy to think about, guys. Crazy to think about. Man, thank you guys so much. Motown Mitch, that's awesome, dude. All right, so while the fight's getting started, let's go back over to talking about some more college football. All right, so on the college football slate, all right, so we see the Florida Atlantic Owls 2-7 on the year, taking on the Temple Owls, who are 2-7 on the year as well. This should be probably one of those kind of games of the lower scored college teams, if you will. Temple right now is favored by 2 points, so watch for the Florida Atlantic Owls to get the win in that one, because that's who Tim Reynolds rolling with. Let's go with the underdog. Why not? We got Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Oh my goodness. You know, Jamie, I cannot wait for either, man, and I hope we get there sooner rather than later, because you know what? If there's one thing I cannot wait to do is to be doing this full time and to be doing it and bringing so much entertainment to everybody who likes and subscribes to my channel, because, man, we need it in sports, dude. We really do. I love mainstream sports. I love watching ESPN. I love watching Fox and CBS and all those big stations. I love seeing Netflix and the streaming guys get into the game with Prime as well. But you know what, though, man? There's always room for good people talking good sports here, man. And you know what? Of course, bro. Of course, man. Carson, Jamie, for real, guys. When we reach to those certain plateaus, you get yourself certain subscriptions. Definitely be trying to make sure you guys are in those, and that's when we'll be able to make sure we still chat with a lot of you guys. It's really going to mean a lot to me for those guys that I see you guys consistently in here, and I can go back and see it in any live stream. Anytime I have you guys in here, it's going to mean a lot to me to be able to come back and still chat with you guys going forward, and that's really what it means the most to me. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. A 5-6 record with, or 50-6 record with 44 knockouts. That's Mike Tyson's record. Motown Mitch says, we the boys, man. Always dogs running a pack. We got this. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. If there was a better way to interact with you guys, I definitely would do that as well. And I just hope that I really can make a community here, guys. This is really what it is for me, you know? Like, I didn't get a chance to grow up with a lot of friends that were really into football, if you will, right? And to me, like, being able to have a group of friends or whatever to be able to talk football and stuff with, like, that's what's going to mean the most to me, you know? And, hey, who knows, guys? If we get going good with this within a year or two, I think I definitely can see myself doing that. Maybe we'll be able to do some meet and greets and be able to see, more ways that I'll be able to communicate and talk with you guys. So, oh man, we're about to see them face off. The boxing match of the century. Oh, and we're about to get it started. Underway. Boom, 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 boom. Wow, Motown Mitch, that's some heavy stuff there, man. Hell yeah, Carson, the fight is starting, dude. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. We're about to see what happens here, guys. Man, I can't believe you guys convinced me to do this. You guys probably want me to do live play-by-play, too. We're supposed to be talking football here, man. Yeah, Motown Mitch, appreciate that comment, both of those, man. Not only we the boys, always dogs that run in a pack. I love that. I love that. I want to get that on a t-shirt. I did see Motown Mitch also. They're all gone now to be a better place, but I think I found my new family. I really appreciate that you think of this show as family, Motown. That really means a lot, man. Carson, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Jamie, appreciate you. You guys have all been very loyal and very, very good fans. Oh, seen the first left hook hit Jake Paul in the face and rock him. Oh, almost a right, just glazed his chin. It might have connected. Tyson's looking good in the first round, guys. Oh, he's attacking him. Oh, my goodness. There was a left hook there, guys. Now they're splitting him up. Man, Mike's taking him on early. Mike's not fucking around, dude. He's working it. He is working Jake Paul right now. Paul is trying to find his groove. That's what you're trying to see from Paul. Paul is trying to find his groove. Interesting to see what happens, guys. Oh! Man, Jake Paul not looking good in this first round, man. In this first round, 1 of 8. I mean, right now we got 40 seconds left. Okay, there's a couple of lefts. Jake finally lands a couple. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, guys. And I guess that connected. A nice right hand from Jake Paul as well. Another left jab, too, coming up from him. Man, it's going to be interesting. Ooh, that was a nice... Wow. So a little bit of a low underhook there from Mike Tyson on Jake Paul. Ref warned him about it. That's the end of the first round. I think Tyson won that first round, guys. First round, I think Tyson won. Pretty sure. Yep, I'm going to put that in the chat. And listen, chat, I do also want to mention, because I have seen a lot of comments about it too for the past couple of days, especially from Jamie and Carson. I want you guys to know, man, like, I got into this because just like it says in my, ooh, yeah, I kind of got him right on the eyeball with a nice right hook Jake Paul did, as we see on the replay there. I just wanted to say to you guys, I got into this to start my own community, to start my own, if you will, football family. To me, like, call it what you want, maybe like a sort of like a religion, if you will. Like, football's in my blood, man, and it's my faith, football, and family. You know, like my wife means so much to me, and when growing this YouTube channel, I wouldn't be able to do it without her, and I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys and all your support. So as far as like remembering you guys, like, to be honest with you guys, like if there was a good way for me to get connected with you guys on Facebook or Instagram and stuff like that, that definitely might be a better way for me to communicate with you guys and get to know you guys a little bit better, you know. But obviously, with me doing everything I'm doing with my channel, trying to work a regular job as well to pay the bills and stuff like that, you know, it's not easy. You don't always find time to do that. So I don't want you guys to ever think that I'm not here for that. I'm here for community. I'm here to be able to interact with you guys. And there's a lot of guys on YouTube that I admire and see that from, you know, like I love watching the Pat McAfee show. But Pat McAfee show, you don't get to really see a lot of interaction with the fans or the comments or anything like that. It's just them sort of running their show and doing their thing and whatnot. For me, I want to find an even balance of where you would see someone like maybe like a Tom Grossi or a lot of other sports talks guys, especially with other sports like, you know, MMA or boxing or even with UFC or even with other sports maybe, like especially with soccer. You see a lot of these guys like talking back and forth, you know, having just natural conversations about it. And, you know, for me, I don't always want to rely on the fact that like it'll be me most of the time, and because of that, that'll be for me being able to create my own community, and that'll be for me to be able to stay in the comments and be able to interact with you guys even more and be able to build that community and sort of like build my show in the future where like these shows like this, like we're doing today for Friday football, that's what you want for being able to. Oh man. So live streams having issues. Oh, this is bad. So that's not good. Just so you guys know, the stream is like, because right now Netflix is like it's still counting down, and you can still see the subtitles, but it's frozen. Like they must be having some really bad issues. Now it's back. We missed the whole second round. Did you guys see the second round? It froze on mine. Tyson came out aggressively with the left hook, guys. Wow, a good bounce back from Jake Paul. He hit Tyson with 3 straight left hooks. And now another one. He's hitting them good with the left hooks. Oh my goodness, Jake's bouncing back in this one, guys. That's so cool, Jamie. You mentioned the Grassi Posse. I love watching him, man. He's a good YouTuber. Man, this fight's pretty sick. Tyson was winning round 1. I guess they said he won round 2, but Jake's definitely won round 3. He's landed a lot of hits on Tyson. Interesting fight here, guys. Very interesting fight, that's for sure. No, Motown, I don't think so. Tyson was at the beginning of this round. Tyson threw some punches that, I mean, it could have knocked out. It could have knocked out Paul. Interesting to see what happens. Well, no, Mo, Tyson stopped throwing after he hit him with those jabs. I think he hit him with like 6 straight jabs. Yeah, it must have been like 6 straight jabs. He even got it with like 3 of them right to his left eye. And you'll see the replay here. Left, missed with the right, and then got the side of the head there. Left, left. Yeah, he got almost 3 straight lefts there. And a lot of times in that round, too, Tyson was trying to put his mouthpiece back in. Interesting to see what happens here, guys. We're in round 4 of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Man, thank you guys for hanging out. Oh, lost stream. Okay, so right now, Jake is in the middle with Tyson. They're sort of exchanging blows. Jake Paul's kind of trying to look for an opening. They're kind of filling each other out. Jake's really using that left jab a lot. Mike Tyson's kind of waiting for his opening. He's not moving around very much. He took a right hand there. Looks like he kind of blocked most of it, but took a right hand there from Paul. So, real interesting here what's going to happen. I think Tyson's trying to just find an opening, and Paul's being patient. Paul's really trying to work the feet, work an angle. So, I don't know. Kind of walking each other right now in this round. Almost looks like Jake's a little tired. You would think Jake would come out and be aggressive here, but he's not. He's just trying to set up the left jab and not really throwing a lot of big punches right now. So I think Jake's trying to sort of catch his breath, and Tyson's just waiting him, man. Tyson's just waiting him out. Oh, wow. Wow, Tyson with a bunch of dodges there. Nice moves. See a lot of good defense here from Tyson in this one, guys. A lot of good defenses. Yeah, Jake's been really working the left-hand jab, reportedly, for this matchup. I did read about that. I don't know, Motown. You know, you could probably say that about so many boxing matches, man, to be honest with you, dude. That's why I love UFC. Like, UFC, there ain't nobody setting up a fake sort of, like, paid-off fight or something like that in UFC. Like, I've seen so many people get brutally annihilated in UFC. So, yeah, so, that was the end of the 4th round, so I think it's like 2-2 right now. Paul and Tyson there, as far as like rounds. Tyson's won 2 rounds, and Paul's won 2 rounds. So, all right, so Michigan State guys in the Big Ten, 4-5, 2-4 in conference play. Oh, we see a big right punch to the body there. That was a big hit. Then they're facing Illinois. Illinois being the home team. They're 6-3 and 3-3 in the Big Ten. And right now, Illinois is a 2.5-point favorite in that one. Watch out for Illinois to definitely take care of Michigan State in that one. All right, here we go. 5th round for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. And they're doing 2-minute rounds is what it looks like. Another nice left hook there, or left jab, I should say, from Paul. Really working the left jab. Interesting here, man. Paul's really trying to work for a big right hand. Yeah, Tyson keeps biting his glove. Don't know why he keeps doing that. It's interesting to see. That's for sure. Tyson bite his ear off. Ooh! That was a big left hand there from Tyson. Interesting fight here, man. Really is. I don't know. I think Paul's just taking his time now. Paul looks like he can kind of like walk circles around Tyson right now, maybe cardio wise. So Paul's not really trying, man. He's kind of leaving himself open here a little bit. Like you could tell Tyson's being a little defensive right now. Tyson's really trying to just stand in there and protect himself and like look for an opening for a hit. But I don't know. Another left hook there. Man, interesting fight here, guys. Interesting fight, that's for sure. All right, so Syracuse Orange is taking on Cal University. This should be an interesting matchup with Syracuse 6-3 on the season, but 3-3 in ACC play. Ooh, a big right overhand there from Jake Paul onto Tyson in that last round. And then another left hook. And then boom, right there in the throat with the left hook. Wow. And it's round 6 now, guys. 2 rounds to go. I don't know if we're going to see a knockout, though. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens, guys. Guys, you are hilarious, man. Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight. Bum 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 bum. Interesting. The left jab is what's landing constantly here for Jake. It's pretty much what's going to win him the fight right now. See what happens, though. No, definitely not as fast as he used to be, guys. That's for sure. So Cal in this one opens up as a 10-point favorite over the Syracuse Orange. I think Syracuse, though, will be able to get the victory in that one. All right, Sam Houston is taking on Kennesaw State. Sam Houston is a 18.5-point favorite. A lot of people think Jake's holding back on him, man. That's for sure. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat, man. All right, so University of Hawaii is taking on Utah State. Hawaii's favored by 2.5 points in that matchup. Definitely rolling with Hawaii in that one. We already talked about number 4 Penn State, 8-1, taking on Purdue, who's 1-8. That should be a good game for Penn State. It's 28.5-point favorite. Round 7 coming up in the fight, guys. Next, we got Virginia University, the Cavaliers taking on the number 8 ranked team, Notre Dame, who are 8-1. Ooh, nice left there from Tyson. Oh, Tyson's moving around good. We'll see what happens here. Now Paul's just using that left jab over and over again. Man, this is such an interesting fight, guys. I don't really know how to even talk to this one, like they're being so slow. This is why I don't really watch boxing, man. You never know if it's going to be a good fight or a bad fight. It looks like Tyson's just kind of trying to ride it out here. Paul's just continuing to keep that space and go for the left jab. Damn, this is really interesting, guys. That's for sure. Mike Tyson looking like he's throwing some really good punches, but yep, another left around the corner. Oh, that was an uppercut. Paul hit an uppercut there. Yeah, Tyson's starting to fade here, it looks like, and we're heading into the final round here soon. Paul's really looked like he's come back. Tyson definitely won the first couple rounds. I'm telling Mike to be a little more aggressive here. Heck yeah, man. Buccaneers are a great freaking team, guys. Yeah, I see there. Ooh, man. A right, a left combination there from Paul in that last round. And last round here of this Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight here. Crazy to think about. Sam Cook, welcome to the chat, brother. Thank you, man. Yes, Carson started at 10:35. Man, does Tyson have anything left here for this last round? We're going to find out. Oh, there goes a nice left from Tyson. Paul's really looking the jab, though. He's landing some shots on Tyson. Ooh. Tyson kind of buckled there on that one. Oh, man. About 30 seconds left to go in this fight, guys. Looks like Paul's going to win it. Wow. 10 seconds left. And it looks like Jake Paul's going to win. Nobody knocking nobody out. Wow, that's interesting. I bet you've never seen that before, guys. Hug it out in the middle of it. Yeah, Jake Paul's going to win, that's for sure. Worst fight I ever watched in my life, says Motown Mitch. I appreciate you guys hanging out here, man. It's been a little different of a live stream than what I'm used to doing. You know, normally we're just talking ball here, but instead, you guys convinced me to check out that fight, that's for sure. But definitely one of those reasons, guys, why we don't really watch the boxing here on Tim Reynolds Show. You know what I'm talking about, man? It's usually football. I do like watching a little bit of the UFC. Now they're having streaming issues, it looks like. No surprise there. But thank you guys for hanging around. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hell yeah, man. I love football too, dude. Thank you guys so much for hanging out here. Appreciate y'all. All right, so going over some more games here for the college football season. We just started talking about Notre Dame, number 8, ranked team in the country, 8-1. They are a 21.5-point favorite against the Virginia Cavaliers. Look out for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in that one. Boston College, 5-4 on the year, taking on SMU, who's 8-1 and undefeated in the ACC. And this is big, though, too, because Boston College is actually losing their starting quarterback. That's right. Their starting quarterback, Thomas Canales, actually entered the transfer portal, number 1, and will no longer be a part of the team. So that's really sad to hear. And for the SMU team, they got their quarterback there, Kevin Jennings, I should say. Really doing very, very well for the team after Preston Stone was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be the guy for this Mustangs team, but instead we've seen Kevin Jennings take over, and now the SMU Mustangs are looking like legit contenders in the ACC conference. So watch out for that game. Hopefully they don't underestimate the Boston College team at all. They could be pretty good. Bo Nix, yes, I love watching him in college, and also like him for the Denver Broncos. He beat my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it's been really, really nice watching him. Yep, Baker Mayfield, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback. Go Baker. Carson says, worst and first boxing match I've ever watched. Yeah, that was not... Carson, do me a favor, okay? When you hear about the next kind of big boxing match, if you want, check that out. And if you want to see a real fight, check out John Bones Jones on Saturday night tomorrow. That should be a really, really good one. Or probably tonight, I should say. All right, so next, guys, an ACC matchup where we see the number 19th ranked Louisville Cardinals, 6-3 on the year and 4-2 in the ACC, taking on the Stanford Cardinals, who are 2-7 but 1-5 in ACC play. The Cardinals come in as a 20.5-point favorite, and the University of Louisville will probably more than likely get this win. Their quarterback is playing very, very good with 2,500 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions on the year. As Tyler Sout, number 9, is playing very, very well for the Cardinals. Next up, Oregon State At 4-5, the Beavers take on Air Force, who are 2-7. Oregon State comes in as a 3-point favorite in this one, but not much to go about as far as stats and stuff for either one of these teams, though. Next up, guys, we got Nebraska at 5-4, 2-4 in the Big Ten, taking on the USC Trojans, who are 4-5 and 2-5 in the Big Ten. And we see the Trojans come in as a 7.5-point favorite in this one, but who knows what to expect. Nebraska's definitely fallen off to where we thought they would be at the beginning of the year, and also same thing for the USC team. All right, so we didn't get to see the end of that. They literally just stopped the stream on us. So sorry to hear about that, guys, but I'm sure Jake Paul won. Guys, going to the next one here. We see Baylor taking on West Virginia. That should be an interesting matchup in the Big 12, especially. Thank you guys for blowing up the chat. Appreciate you guys. What NFL team is biggest fraud, Jamie wants to know. Jamie, excellent question, man. Let's go to the NFL slate here. All right, so looking around, who is the NFL's biggest fraud? And I guess we probably have to go with teams with a winning record, right? To see that, and that's really tough, man. I want to say the Falcons, but then again, their offense is not half bad with Kirk Cousins. Who is the NFL's biggest frauds, man? Maybe the Minnesota Vikings. They're 7-2 on the year, 3-1. I know the rest of their schedule here coming up doesn't get a lot easier for them. They do get to play the Bears twice, though. So that's pretty interesting. So maybe the Vikings. And I'm trying to look at teams with a winning record here for the most part to answer that question for you. And yeah, the Saints' schedule is pretty easy for them. I mean, not a whole lot of difficult games for them in the end of the season. So maybe the 49ers. 49ers, yeah, they don't have an easy schedule remaining. So maybe I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers, Jamie, to answer your question. Who's the NFL's biggest frauds? I think it's the 49ers. All right. Who would you pick for MVP, Tim? Carson wants to know. Man. Right now, if I had to pick MVP right now, I think I'm picking Derrick Henry. I really do think that guy's such a good fit for that offense. And Lamar Jackson's already MVP last year. He's having an MVP-like season this year. But I really do think that either him or Saquon Barkley really are the MVPs this far through the season. Now, obviously, that could change, but I really do think it makes a hell of a difference. Sam Cook, welcome to the chat. Monty, appreciate you in the chat too, man. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Do the Broncos have a chance for the playoffs? Absolutely, Jamie, absolutely. When you have a good defense, you always have a chance to make the playoffs. Dang it, guys. All right, thank you guys for hanging out with us on this Football Friday. We're almost done with our college football slate. Baylor, the Baylor Bears, University of Baylor comes in at 5-4, taking on the 5-4 West Virginia Mountaineers. Baylor comes in as the 1-point favorite in this matchup. I think the West Virginia Mountaineers, though, are going to be able to get the victory in this one. Going over the other matchups, we got number 23 ranked Missouri, 7-2 on the year and 3-2 in the SEC, taking on South Carolina, the number 21 ranked team in the country, who is 6-3 and 4-3 in the SEC. This should be a pretty good, interesting matchup in the Southeastern Conference. Carolina opens up as a 13.5-point favorite. It's probably going to be a little bit closer than that, I'd imagine. Missouri is definitely a pretty good team overall, just maybe not elite. All right, next one, guys. Here we got Rutgers at 5-4 and 2-4 in the Big Ten, taking on the University of Maryland, who are 4-5 and 1-5 in the Big Ten. Maryland is favored, though, at 5.5 in this game. Watch out for the Rutgers, though. I really do think They're a better team in this one. Their running back has 931 yards and 10 TDs on the year. Let's see if I can remember this. Kyle Monagane. I hope I pronounced that right. He is helping lead this team here for the Rutgers University. Next up, guys, we got the number 13th ranked Boise State Broncos, 8-1 on the year and 5-0 in the Mountain West Conference. And how about running back Ashon Genty? As Genty is a Heisman candidate with over 1,700 rushing yards already on the year and 23 rushing touchdowns. He's looking like a front runner for the Heisman candidate, and they're taking on a tough San Jose State team who is 6-3 and 3-2 thus far this season. But Boise State does open up as a 14.5-point favorite, and you know I'm rolling with the Broncos in this one, guys. Appreciate you guys. All right, got some more questions already in the chat, looks like. Oh, Carson, so I don't know if Blizzard got the girl, but he did hit me up in my comments, and he let me know that he used my TD celebration for the girl at the football game, and his team won. So hopefully that means he impressed her. So we'll see. Well, wait to be seen, right? Appreciate you guys in the chat, man. Sam Cook says, the Bolts are barely a wild card, but better luck next year, ponies. Oh, man. Facing the Bengals this Sunday night, that's for sure. Do the Cowboys have an RB1 or trade Dak or draft a QB? I don't know, Jamie. I don't think they will draft a quarterback. I really do think they'll probably go and try to get a running back either in the draft or free agency. Whew, wait and see, guys. Oh, man. Too much yawning. All right, guys. So next good matchup here we're talking about on the college football slate is Arizona State, 7-2 on the year and 4-2 in Big 12 play, is taking on Kansas State, who's ranked number 16 in the country, 7-2 and 4-2 in Big 12 play as well. Kansas State Wildcats come in as a 7.5-point favorite in this one, but watch out for the Arizona State Sun Devils. I think they can get the upset win in this one. And the Louisiana Ragin' Cajun, 8-1 on the year and 5-0 in the Sun Belt Conference, take on South Alabama, as the Panthers are 4-5 and 3-2 in the Sun Belt. Now, the South Alabama team has been a very, very high-scoring team for most of the year. Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns open up as a 7.5-point favorite, and I really do think that the University of Louisiana will get the victory in this one. A really good matchup. And next, guys, we got the number 1 ranked Oregon Ducks taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. Oregon comes in at 10-0 and 7-0 in the Big Ten. And they're also 13.5-point favorites in this one against Wisconsin, who's 5-4 and 3-3 in the Big Ten. I really do think Oregon will handle business in this game. And then we got our big SEC matchup, guys, where we see the number 7th ranked Tennessee Volunteers, 8-1 on the year and 5-1 in SEC play, taking on the Georgia Bulldogs, who are 7-2 and 5-2 in SEC play. They're the number 12 ranked team, and they are the home team there in Athens, Georgia. And they're a 9-point favorite in this one. Man, I think the Georgia Bulldogs will handle business there in that particular matchup. All right, next up, guys, we got Wake Forest at 4-5 on the year, 2-3 in the ACC, taking on North Carolina Tar Heels, who are 5-4 and 2-3 in the ACC. Carolina opens up as an 11-point favorite in this one. I do think the Tar Heels will be able to handle business in that matchup. And there's a few more, but they're kind of with some not so close teams as far as some more games here for the college football slate. But appreciate you guys hanging out here with Tim Reynolds Show. We'll go over the chat one more time before we call it a night here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Carson, are you going to live stream all the 3 big games on Sunday? You know, Carson, I think I will. You'll see a little different live stream from me because I'll be doing my computer. And hopefully that still gets me what I hope. What I'm aiming for, guys, to be honest with you, is I'm trying to get like 100 likes on every single one of these live streams. And if I'm getting 100 likes, that means obviously the views are going to come. So hopefully I'll be able to stream all 3 games coming up. We're going to be looking at the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then we'll be looking at the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And also the Sunday night game where we'll see the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the LA Chargers. And that's going to be a good game as well. Already checked with the wife too. Made sure to ask her and she was okay with it. So hopefully be able to stream those on the computer because can't do it on the mobile for every single one, due to battery life and whatnot. Mobile's where I tend to get more views and more people in the chat interacting and stuff like that. So it should be very interesting though. But I've really stacked game slate here for upcoming week in the NFL. So appreciate you, Carson, for all the good comments. Monty, Buccaneers almost beat the Chiefs. Hell yeah, Monty. We're looking like a really good team, whether people believe it or not. I do believe in my Buccaneers, and I do really think that they'll be able to get a win. Chargers Sunday night. Sam Cook rolling with the Chargers. What's your prediction for the Chargers-Bengals game? Man, I think I went over that game in my previews there on Tim Reynolds Show, so Sam Cook, make sure you check that out. I think it's going to be a very, very good game, but I think I picked the Chargers just because of hardball football. The defense is playing very, very good, and that offense can run the ball really good. But it all depends on the Bengals. I mean, their offense is going to come to show up. I really do think the Cincinnati Bengals offense will be able to score points, but I just think I trust the Chargers defense a little bit better than I trust the Bengals defense right now, so that's my prediction for that game, Sam. Hope you like it. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. Carson says, let's go. I'll be watching some or all of them. I'll always be there, says Jamie. Man, you guys freaking rock, man. Appreciate you guys. Carson Wood, who day? Guess we got a Bengals fan there. Excited for that Bolts game. Should be awesome, man. Oh, Flying Circus back in the chat here before we get ready to go, guys. He wants to know, how about the Packers and Bears? Well, man, we just talked about this a little earlier. I think the Packers are definitely looking at a little of a bounce-back game for them here in this one against the Chicago Bears. And, man, I feel bad for Chicago Bears fans because if you look at the Bears' remaining schedule, I don't think the Chicago Bears will win another game the rest of the year. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that. So thank you guys for hanging out here on this Football Friday. So we hit up the comments here before we get ready to go. Okay, Motown Mitch and Sam Cook, a couple more comments before we get ready to go here, guys. Thank you so much for you guys hanging out with Tim Reynolds Show. Motown Mitch wants to know one last question. Did the Bucs get back on track? Yes, Motown. Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? Before we go, let's go over those Buccaneers and their remaining schedule because, guys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have the easiest remaining schedule in the NFL for the rest of the season. So right now we're on a bye. After this bye week, we face the New York Football Giants, who apparently are going to be benching quarterback Daniel Jones, so which means we're facing the backup quarterback for the Giants. Then we face the Panthers in Carolina. After that, we face the Las Vegas Raiders. And then after those 3 games, we get our first tough matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. Excuse me. And that one will be tough because it's in LA. Next, a not-so-hard game against the Dallas Cowboys. That would have maybe been a lot harder facing Dak. But now, we face the Cowboys with a backup quarterback. That'll be interesting to see. Then we finish the season off at home against the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Guys, I really do think the Bucs can win all those games. I'm not playing. I want to see it right here. Right here during the Bucs bye week in Week 11, I want to be the first one, the diehard Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan that I am, the super fan that I am. I believe that my team can win every single one of those games remaining. Go undefeated for the rest of the season. To get to 11-6? Come on, man. 10-6? 10-6, is that what it is? 17 weeks in the bye week? Yeah, right? So, what are we, 4-6 right now? Yeah, so got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11. See, 11 wins. We can get to 11 wins this year? Come on, man. I really do believe that can happen. So thank you, Motown Mitch. I appreciate your question there, man. I love it when I can get me some Tampa Bay Buccaneers questions in the chat. Let's go. All right. Motown says, yes, yes, they do. I love cheering on Baker with you, bro. Thank you, Sam Cook. Appreciate you, man. Your Chargers, I love rooting for your Chargers, man. You guys got the right head coach, dude. Congratulations on that. You definitely got yourself a lifer there for head coach as long as he wants to play. So, Motown, Definitely would look forward to that, bro. I'm not messing with you, dude. I would love to see that matchup. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Detroit Lions in the playoffs. Right now, the Buccaneers are the only teams to beat the Lions. So, hey, it's going to be really good if we could see that, dude. That's for sure. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Big shout out to all these people in the chat. Motown Mitch, Jamie Walk, Sam Cook, my boy Flying Circus, my boy Carson. Appreciate you guys hanging out in the chat. Shout out to Monty. And we'll try to go up here to the top, but I know it's probably mostly you guys for the most part in the chat. And it is. So shout out to you guys again. Big shout out again to, I want to give it out to Carson. He started off the chat. Motown Mitch coming in late. Jamie Walk with your big questions. A lot of questions for that. Our Flying Circus, appreciate you. Sam Cook, appreciate you too, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Appreciate everybody hitting a like and subscribing to the channel. Make sure you guys check out Tim Reynolds Show for more of my stuff coming up. I'll also be doing a WWE show review tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown, so make sure you guys check out that as well. So peace out, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show and enjoy the NFL games this upcoming weekend and for college football as well. Peace out, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you guys really enjoy Tim Reynolds Show and enjoy all the content here. Please, if you guys get a chance, chat, just another little request from me here to you guys. If you guys would go into my videos that I have, if you guys can leave me some comments in those videos, check them out for a little bit. If you guys can, spare a few minutes, maybe hit a like button too. I don't get a lot of likes on my main videos. The shorts, hey, they're doing really good for my liking, but I would definitely like to see some more likes on the regular videos there. And tell me what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback, especially for my NFL content, but also check out my NASCAR content. I just completed the NASCAR 2024 season as well, and then also my WWE content. That'll be coming up soon. That'll be one of my next uploads coming here in my videos, is I'll be doing my WWE show review for Friday Night SmackDown for November 15th, 2024. So thank you guys so much. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Peace out, everybody. Thank you for all the support. You guys have a great night.